Evening, gents. Welcome to the first round for season 21 of the Mustangs. It's round two. We're at high speed ring reverse in a souped up Mustang. What I'll do is I'll get a lap of what I'm doing. I'm not even sure if it's right, to be honest with you, and then do a little quick rundown of what the car likes and doesn't. Well, it likes understeer, but quick rundown of the car. So we'll get it underway. I won't. I probably won't pause it. It'll just be a really quick run through, and then I'll go back to the settings sheet and just show a couple of things where we're at. I'm running pretty close to the wheel-to-wheel tune, but I'll go through that after. All right, let's get underway. I'll run in-car view so you can see my steering inputs and all the other details are there as well. That's sort of why I'm doing in-car view at the moment, but all right, well, let's go. We're on lap two. I think all right, let's do it. So coming down here, I'm hitting maybe 290 if I'm lucky. Right at the green, I'm chuck it right back down to fourth. Start high. Thought I might get it tucked down just so I don't wash wide here. Back up to fifth gear a bit earlier. I'll tell you why in a minute. Coming through this tight right-hander, I'm probably braking at like 80 metres, 75 metres. Back down to second, back it in a little bit hard there. Short shift to third. I'll be back down to second for turn in. Try and get rid of a bit of front end wash. Back up to third gear, shoot it out. Might have a bit of oversteer there, but you'll be right. So up into fourth, I might hold fourth here. Oh no, it's like back to fourth. Ride the green, ripple in the dry. And then obviously we just shoot up to the end here. I like to stay down tight, down to the bottom. It just shortens my track distance. I'm not getting a whole heap of wash, so I don't see why we need to be up in the bank. And we're just coming over the start finish line about now. What was that? A 12.0. Being a little quicker on. It's different setup, but they all yield the same pace for me. I'll run through that now. Oh no, what am I doing? I don't want to go to the Porsche. Let's get out of this. Let's go to the settings sheet for a minute. So I'll go to car settings. Obviously it's listed as my tune. I'm on the racing hards. Okay, so I got my tune. This is what I'm running. So nothing out of the ordinary here. Pretty close to the wheel-to-wheel setup, to be honest with you. I'd probably run a little bit less downforce on the rear end. I don't find that too much of an issue. I know Neil was asking about my gearbox setup, so I think there's some trick you can do it. I don't know how to do it, so I've just got it automatically adjusted to 320, and then if you look into the manual adjustment, you can change that, so I can go up and down. So look, I can make it whatever I wanted to. I don't know what it was at before. That's what it's set at now. So that's what it ends up as, right? Also, something else to look at is probably if you cruise up to your ECU, right? Now, can I change? No, I can't have a pointer there. But see, it's got like, your rev cutoff is 7.5 grand. But if you have a look, like it falls off a bit of a cliff there. So I'm thinking probably the hardest you want to rev it is 7,000. And if you're fuel saving, you can get away with like 6.6 or 6.7, and you're not going to be dropping off that much pace. But revving it right to the limiter, you're going to go slower on that graph, if that makes sense. So your torque graph and your power graph. Also, I want to ask the question too sometimes, is it better to run the low end? I have to do a fuel economy run. See how that it does falls the same pace, but the torque's down a bit lower. I'm not sure how that works on fuel. That'll have to be, that won't be monitorable. So I guess you could run the low end supercharger and miss out on 17 horsepower. But if it helps on fuel, that might be a subject of conversation. So, some reason I got a hydraulic handbrake on here. Never mind. Brakes to the rear. I'm probably should have been to 5 there, to the rear. Just try to save a tiny bit of front tyre. I don't think it makes the biggest difference, but yeah, this is where I'm at. So I'm obviously max front. You know, the minute, I don't think any less than that's going to make it any better at the back. Like, you can run higher, you probably miss out on like 2 or 3k an hour on the straight, but if you're finding you're sliding around a little bit, you did see that I had a couple of slides on entry and stuff on the way in, and you could fix that there. On the entry as well, you could probably fix that through the braking sensitivity of the diff. If I turn that up, that'll make it understeer in. Turn it down, it'll make it oversteer in. Can't remember what that was on either. Acceleration sensitivity, you can have that reasonably high in this car. It doesn't, you know, as you exit, you're low on the range, so it doesn't want to oversteer too much. Initial torque, I think, is just how quickly the diff reacts to your throttle input. The rest of it, you don't want to make the front end too low. So if you're right back down to 50, I find it'll bottom out 100%, and then the front will jump and you'll lose all your steering and for a mid moment until it settles again. So I can't remember what I had it on, 70 or something. And the back end I can have pretty low because it follows the front. What else can I say? What else are we through here? So this is basically my setup. Now, I have run the wheel-to-wheel one that was on there as well. It yields me the same times. I'm yet to do testing on, where was it? Setting 3, that'd be the wheel-to-wheel setup. So 60, 90, 25. I think that's the wheel setup at the moment. Oh no, I've dropped the back end. I think that was on 330 or something. That yields me the same time. I also have a YouTube setup on here that was from VDJ Johnny or something like that. That yielded me the same times as well. So much stiffer any roll bars, much stiffer front end, rear end. So a lot less camber, and I tried his setup. It was all yielding me the same times, but it drove pretty nice. But I like mine because it's a little bit wild. No, it's not that bad. It is still pretty mellow sort of tune. But yeah, so that's the difference in there. Like, I don't know, if I went to, I don't know if we can have a look at the rotational G. So if I went to YouTube setup and just, it's all going to be the same, isn't it? It's not going to be the same because I see the times change a little tiny bit. YouTube setups a little quicker over a standing start, 1,000 meters by 1,000th of a hundredth of a second. Yeah, okay. So the YouTube, if you're doing 1 kilometer sprints, probably use the YouTube setup because you get there 1/100th of a second quicker. Is that right? Yeah, 1/100th of a second quicker. The rest is all the same, I think. So I'm not noticing much difference on lap pace either. It's just the way it drives. So I hope this is a half good guide and a bit of an introduction to see what to look for. I guess, what do we say? Like, you got to get your gearing right. Like, 7,000 RPM should be your max you want to hit. No good revving it past that. And it has a natural tendency to have mid-quarter understeer. I haven't found a way to dial that out. If somebody in chat could help me with that, I've tried a few different systems, and I always end up with the same outcome. So I don't know if somebody wants to butt in and give some guidance on that, that'd be awesome. But I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to say good luck. The wet, good luck in the wet. The wet's always going to be terrible, but except for those control drivers talking to you, Bummy, and Almonds. Those boys are gonna be flying. So in the wet too, don't forget you can use traction control, right? And that might just save you from facing backwards. So it might not be a bad thing to turn traction control when the rain sets in. I don't think you're gonna lose any real lot of lap pace out of it. So if people can remember that, that'd be awesome. All right, I'm going to leave it as it is, and good luck this Sunday. Any questions, ask who am I going to ask? Gitman. Gitman will answer your questions. All right, thank you.